Hey there, I have a a bowl of chicken here that's 10 pounds of chicken. It was a 10-pound bag of chicken. I bought it yesterday for $6.61. So that's basically 66 cents a pound for this chicken. This same 10-pound bag of chicken was $4.80 or 48 cents a pound less than a month ago. So with the rising cost of meat and everything going up, we're looking for ways to get ahead of the game, have a little bit of meat put away before it gets too expensive, but also not fill up our freezer too much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this meat and I'm going to can it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm separating the chicken leg from the thigh. This was a 10-pound bag of legs and thighs. So I'm separating the leg and the thigh from each other, and then I will be taking the meat off of the thigh piece and canning it. Then with the chicken legs, we'll use those up in some recipes now, and then we'll turn the bones, we'll boil them down and make them into bone broth. Now that we have the legs all separated from the thigh, what I'm doing is I'm removing the skin, trimming up any excess fat, and then we're going to take the meat off the bone. That way we can can up as much as we can. All right, yep. All these extra chunks of fat off of here. So we're just going to try to slice right up next to the bone here. Getting ready to can the chicken. There's a couple of inches of water at the bottom of our pressure canner. We're going to bring that up to boil. The lids and rings are simmering here in the pot. And then we have the jars are in the dishwasher being sanitized and sterilized. But that's it. We're getting ready. We're going to start canning that chicken soon. All right, so we have the jars are out of the dishwasher. They're all sterilized and ready to go. We're going to do this as a cold pack, so I'm not going to keep the jars warm. I'm just going to let them sit out here on the counter before we put the chicken in, and then what we'll do is we'll add the hot broth and then put them in the canner to can them. And a few other supplies we have here are the funnel to help put the meat into the jars without spilling it all over. It's a nice handy little jar grabber. We'll use this to help get any air bubbles out, and then a spoon to spoon in the chicken. All right, so what we have here is the jars are ready to go. We're just going to start spooning some chicken into the jars. Before I pour the broth in is I'm just going to put a little pepper just for the extra seasoning, 2 little twists from the pepper grinder. I'm not adding any extra salt because there is a little bit of salt in the bone broth already. It's pretty well seasoned, but I'm putting a little extra pepper in for flavor. You don't have to use bone broth. You can just do plain hot water if you like. A little salt and pepper for seasoning, onion, garlic, whatever you like your chicken flavored with, or you can just leave it completely plain so it is a total blank canvas when you're ready to use it. All right, now we have the bone broth is ready. It's all nice and hot, so what we're gonna do is just slowly ladle it in to these jars. Make sure that it gets in there all the way, but not too much. All right, we're just gonna go to the bottom of the rim here. Make sure that we push out all the air bubbles real good. There we go, so you can see it's just right to the rim of the jar. So you can see we have the water has just come to a boil in the pressure canner. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set the jars in to the pressure canner. Now it's hard to see through the steam, but there's a little rack at the bottom so that the jars are not actually resting on the bottom, and there's notches in the rack to help keep the jars from bumping into each other when they start boiling. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on. I'm going to put the weight on to help keep the steam in. Let me see real quick. This particular pressure canner is gauged, so I'm going to watch the gauge, and when it gets to the notch just above 10, that is 11 psi. When it gets to there, I'm going to start setting the timer, and we will cook it for about 75 minutes on the 11 psi. I just want to show you real quick, the chicken is done processing, and I can smell it. It smells so good. You can kind of see it's still boiling in there. So by packing it raw and just cooking it in the pressure cooker, it cooks the chicken all the way through. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it continue to sit here in the water in the pressure canner until it comes down to room temperature, and then we'll set it aside for overnight. And then tomorrow I will check the seals on them just to make sure that they've all sealed up properly. And I know that some of them have already sealed. I could hear them popping when I took the lid off. But we're going to let them cool completely before we wash the jars, test the lids, and then store them. Just a quick update on the finished product before we put it away. 6 out of the 7 chicken sealed well. The 7th one did not, so we're going to just put that in the refrigerator and eat it up right away. But 6 of them did, so I'm going to write the date on the caps, and then we're going to store them in the pantry. But just so you can see, it's all cooked. There's still a little bit of broth in there to help keep it nice and moist. And we look forward to using up this chicken later, having it available to us when we need it, but not taking up valuable freezer space.